A new book, a new beginning, and hopefully a lot of great informations. Hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I'm very happy to be here again, even though I just before wasted so much fucking time to actually find something to talk about. And I found something and I was kind of debating with myself if I should actually do it or if I shouldn't. And it was very complicated because there are certain factors like, okay, it would take me way too long, and factors like, okay, I will just give the best and the most valuable pieces to the people outside there, no matter how long it will take me and whatsoever. And this exactly now is a book on the alanchang.com website again, so it's completely and very, very detailed, and it will take a long time. It will definitely take a long time because it is long. Because it really is long. But it's okay, I guess. Because the thing is, either it's just... the thing is just, I just want to give you the most value in the time you're just spending with me as possible. And I just debated with myself or asked myself, should I actually now go through a millionaire interview again? Or should I actually be doing something different? Should I be, I don't know, searching for other interviews? And I was searching for other interviews, for example, with Bill Gates. But most of the time what you see is then texts that aren't like somehow formatted. So they aren't in a great shape. And they are not that greatly readable and whatsoever. So it's not nice to listen to them, I guess. And it is also quite only reading. And the best part of book summaries is that I can just add so many things. And all these things that I just think about at these certain moments. And this is basically one of the reasons why I actually started to go with book summaries, yeah. And it's, by the way, relatively late, so I'm not going to shout around like in the other episode that I've uploaded today, somehow at 6 o'clock or something. So please take this as a note, or how you ever say this. But yeah, and as you might can see in the background, we are going through Give and Take by Adam Grant. And actually could show you this. Well, or I can't. So this is the book, which seems to be a New York Times bestseller. And I also looked up the Amazon ratings and if it is actually a good book. And yeah, it totally is. It has 4.5 stars out of 5, or 4.75, I guess. I didn't actually see it. I think it was not quite 5, but it was definitely not 4.5. So it was something in between there. But it is a great book, and it seems to be a great book, and it seems to have a lot of great insights, and also some other great authors have actually somehow added a comment on Amazon to this book, which is great, and which is very interesting that also some other big authors actually like it. But I just see, no, the wrong one. You can't see anything. Nice thing, yeah. Now it's there. I actually have to go a little bit to the side. So yeah, it will take a long time. It totally will take a long time. I think as long as Why We Sleep. But I don't know, let's just see how long the other one is. No, I guess it's quite as long as the 12 Rules of Life by Jordan B. Peterson, but I'll just gonna read it. And I'm also going to read the small little introduction, because maybe it is important, maybe it isn't, maybe it is, I don't fucking know. So are you a giver, a matcher, or a taker? So basically to just somehow, maybe spoil even, this is a book about giving and taking. And I guess, because I just, looked at all I look through it a little bit to see if there's something in it, and or if it's too much text, and it is a lot of text, and that's maybe gonna be a problem. But now I've started with it, and now I'm just going to do it. Yeah. So it is about giving and taking, and I guess the author says that just giving is something that's very crucial and very important, which is basically my opinion. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just only saying this because it's my opinion. But we will see. We will totally see. So are you a giver, a matcher, or a taker? So you're either one of these three categories. People fit into one of three reciprocity styles. Givers like to give more than they get, paying attention to what others need. Takers like to get more than they give, seeing the world as a competitive place and primarily looking out for themselves. And matchers balance and give on a quite or quit, it is QUID, pro quo basis, willing to exchange favors but careful about not being exploited. I don't know. I think I seem to be a giver. Not because I would like to, but it kind of seems to actually be like I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm not actually always getting a lot back. I often get something. I totally don't want to say that I will never ever, or I have never ever gotten something. I totally have. I've gotten a lot of things in my entire life. But yeah, I still think that I'm the first one, so a giver. But yeah, so of these three styles, which do you think tends to be the most successful? When surveyed, most people believe the takers and matchers come out on top. Givers just seem too altruistic to push themselves ahead. In Give and Take, Wharton professor Adam Grant argues that givers are actually the most successful of the three types. Givers build larger, more supportive. I think it's supportive networks. They inspire the most creativity from the colleagues, and they achieve the most successful negotiations. Givers find ways to grow the pie and take their share of it. And yet givers also risk becoming spineless doormates. You may know of a pushover who gives in to every demand at costs to his or her own well-being. And there are strong strategies to protect against this. So I think so. I don't know. As I'm thinking about it now, and as I'm thinking about how the author writes and, what he's writing about, it doesn't seem for me to be like, okay, you're a giver, which is fine, which is totally great, but it doesn't seem to be like, okay, you're fucking dumb and you're dumb shit, you're doing dumb shit, which just for me means, or what I want to say is that being a giver and just being very, very like, I'm just giving and giving and giving, and I will never ever ask for something. And I think that it is not this way. I guess just, the giver does it the best way. And for him, giving is just more important than getting something. But I still think, as I said, he won't just, get spineless just so easily and or like silly somehow and just being dumb and just doing dumb shit. It doesn't seem for me to be like this. So in this give and take summary, you will learn why givers are so successful, why takers are punished by society for bad behavior, and how givers can avoid pitfalls that drag them down. That's nice. And there you can actually see the whole table of contents. So it's not that much actually, but all these chapters, so it's 9 chapters and also the 1-page summary, which is, I guess the thing that we are going to go through today. I don't think that we will come much further than the 1-page summary. So should I go through the contents? Yeah, I go through. So the first one is the basic thing that we will just go through right afterwards is the 1-page summary of Give and Take. Then chapter 1 is Good Returns. Chapter 2, the peacock and the panda. The chapter 3 is the ripple effect. 4 is Finding the Diamond in the Rough. Fifth is the power of powerless communication. The sixth, the art of motivation maintenance. Then jump change, the Scrooge shift, and out of the shadows. And last but not least, there are some open questions and actionables. And I guess it's always quite the same structure on this website. So I'm still, if I haven't ever actually said, on the alancheng.com website, which is an incredible website. It totally is. I can really suggest you to go to this website if you need some insights from some great books. He doesn't have so much books, but what he is having, so much. It's relative. It totally is relative compared to other book summary sites like thepowermoves.com or samuelthomasdavis.com, and all these pages there are. It's not much, but every single book he has been featuring, or he is featuring on his blog or website, is so incredibly detailed. It for me actually seems to be like I'm not in the need of actually reading the book, for sure. And I've always just been just reminding the people after every singular book summary that I went through, that it is not a replacement for the whole book or for reading the whole book. But on this website, it seems to be so fucking detailed that I just feel like it is enough. But yeah, so the one-page summary of Give and Take. Here is a reference for the most important concepts in Give and Take to get more color on these points in illustrative anecdotes. Read through this Give and Take summary in full. There are 3 reciprocity styles. The takers like to receive more than they give, matchers balance and give on a quid pro quo basis, and givers like to give more than they get. Professionally, most people tend to be matchers, which I think seems to be right. It totally seems to be right, I guess. And maybe this is even the kind that I was thinking about. Maybe even the giver is actually the person who is just giving and giving and giving and do not even care, or doesn't even care about whether he gets something or not. And then the matcher, for me, just, if I'm just thinking about this, just then feels for me like, okay, he's the person that I was describing before, he will just get his return somehow, but he's not so obsessed with actually getting more than everybody else. And it seems to be like, it's also not like he wants to give everything away. Like, everything he has for no return. It seems just to be balanced. So professionally, most people tend to be matchers, partly because they believe the workplace is zero-sum, partly because they are skeptical of takers and don't want to make themselves vulnerable. This can create a pernicious, vicious cycle leading to bad work culture. Definitely makes sense. It definitely could just lead to bad culture, especially in a company when you do have a lot of. I think actually, if you're thinking about it, like, if you have a company and in the whole company there are only takers, which is just, not real, it wouldn't work, I guess, like, in terms of, okay, the chances are so fucking low. The chances are so fucking low that the whole company is actually only consisting of takers that, the whole question just, is unnecessary. But if you're just thinking about it, like just a theory, would it work? Would you say that it work or that it would work? Please write it down in the comments, or just, text me on Instagram or somewhere if you're on the podcast. Would be really interested, because I kind of feel like, no, it wouldn't work, because I guess people wouldn't be happy, because everybody wants to just get more than they give, and then nobody's giving and everyone wants to receive something, which is like nobody is getting anything. And for them, for the takers, the most important thing is just getting something or taking. And when they do not just have it, then I guess they're just unhappy. Or this is just what I feel like that it could be. Givers end up more successful by building better reputations and more useful networks. I actually do not know what reputations are. I always look it up. I've once actually looked it up, and I've forgotten it. And just, do I have the time to? No, I'm just gonna. I just want to kind of, be a little bit philosophical about something a teacher of mine said to me. But I guess it's more important to go through the book, not as quick as possible, but on a great pace. So I do not want to be too slow, and I want to make 500 episodes of this one, even though, it wouldn't be the wrong way to go. Maybe people want it, maybe people don't. And this is the problem, I guess, because you will still get things out of these 30 minutes that you're just, kind of taking with me. You will totally get. But it's not like you're getting the whole summary in like 10 minutes, which would also be great. And which is actually something that I've been thinking about today. If we should actually be making these kind of videos, which are only 10 minutes long, cut together nicely and with effects and whatsoever, so that they are quite great digestible. The problem there is what I'm doing with the podcast, because 10-minute podcast episodes are nothing to be so pumped about, maybe. But the thing is, you're basically just putting the same information into less time. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll just try it. I actually wanted to try it today, but I then somehow decided, okay, I do not have to. And maybe it's just because I do not want to. And it's just more work for me, way more work for me. But let's see. Increasingly true as economists shift to collaborative, you know what I mean, knowledge work. Giving gives you an advantage because you can't predict who is going to be helpful to you in the future. This means some people are undervalued by takers and or matchers at present. If we help these people, they will be grateful. Givers tend to see potential in all people as diamonds in the rough. Givers focus on the success of the group rather than the self. This inspires trust in the motives and creates a safe space where ideas are shared without fear of exploitation, where a taker would claim credit or retaliation is retaliation, where a taker may reflectively shoot it down. Takers create the opposite reaction. The givers also earn idiosyncrasy credits, whatever the fuck this is, where their controversial ideas may be given more hearing time since listeners know the givers have the group's interest at heart. Which makes sense, I guess people really behave differently, and this is actually something that I do have to get more educated in, because it is actually extremely interesting for me. I'm very interested in it, how people are behaving, why they do things, not only on a psychological base, so it's definitely psychology, but also in terms of products. Why are they liking a certain post of mine? Is there something about it? What is it with it? Could I create more posts of this so that I just could scale? These things. It would be just so interesting to be in people's heads. And this is actually also one of the reasons why Gary Vee, I'm again quoting him, but I just want to give you as much as I know and as much as I'm thinking about. And he's just always, which is something that you kind of see when you're looking between or reading between the lines, actually, because for me it feels like he hasn't been just putting it out so much yet. He hasn't just underlined it yet and hasn't just emphasized it so extremely yet as other things. And he actually looks at all the profiles, and he pretty much stalks all the people that are following him and also his employees. And the thing there is, it makes sense. And I've also tried it, and I've seen, a great base of all the people that are just, looking at my posts and or just are liking my post, which is basically the metrics that I'm taking. Because I think liking is something that's probably something that's like an active activity, not like, looking at it at something or getting an impression, which is basically only when somebody sees your shit. That's bad because you can't see who it was and whatsoever. But in terms of the likes, you can totally see, okay, what they are doing, what they are posting, what their name is, maybe their interests, maybe also in their bio, and whatsoever. So the funny thing is, I've seen that a great base of my audience, if you would like to, are actually interested in physical activities, like most of the time working out actually, and there are a lot of buff guys there. There are a lot of buff guys. I do not know, and it also kind of feels for me like this is actually, quite normal in this space. I'm actually also from that space, so I basically did I start to work out before I was because the thing is, in terms of working out, it has always something to do with motivation, and you will totally find a lot of motivational videos about how to work out and how to motivate to work out. And I think this is actually, or I've started there, I guess. I started there with all the motivational speeches that I've been doing. I'm very sorry if it was extremely loud there. But yeah, so I actually came from the space. I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and success. I do just have to end the episode because it seems to be important and just gonna get there. And I wish you the best. I'll see you. I love you.